What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Truth About Him, the #1 podcast for men's mental health and wellness. I'm Anthony.
I'm Barron.
Welcome back to the show. We miss you guys. It's been a week, but we miss you guys.
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
So how was last week for you?
You know, last week leading into this week, I've had the opportunity to practice pivoting, practice patience. So, it was, I had to change focus a few times, but it was a good week. It was a good week to practice the things that we actually speak about. Just being patient and understanding, and a hurdle is just a hurdle. Yeah. Just figure out a way to get over it. So we don't just talk about this stuff. We actually live this stuff. So.
Right.
Yep. How was your week?
Oh, week was good. For me, I had to practice last week self-love. Right, even coming into this week, because there are so many things that can interfere with me, and also putting other things, people, before me, right? So I had to really practice, self-love and putting myself first and honoring my journey, right? Last night we had the mantle.
Okay, that's right.
We talked about healing the father wound.
Good old father wound.
Yeah, we did that. So that was a good experience too. So just really loving the journey. Loving connecting, and always learning. How to be better, do better, and just really have that real manly man feel. Right.
That's the goal, to be better. So I think that's to be the daily joy for us. Till the day we die. Just be better. Yeah. Just be better.
I was talking this morning. I was talking to my mother, and she said, Anthony, she said, her exact words, "You are more considerate than you were, years back." I'm like, "Mom, that's called growth." Right? It's called growth, and our goal is to always grow and become a better version than we were the year before.
Absolutely.
So the fact he said that, you know what? Thank you, because
I'm trending in the right direction.
I am.
That's right.
I'm growing. So today, let's get into it. So this would be a good one.
This would be a good one.
We're talking about the 5 things. It's part 1. Right?
Part 1.
The 5 things that men wish women knew about us.
That's right.
Right. So we found 10 things, but we're gonna do 5 today, and then do a part 2 next week.
Definitely will be a part 2.
Right,
yes. So we got some. Yeah. So we have female followers, female subscribers that want to know, what's the hell's going on up there?
Right.
What does this mean when XYZ happens, or when you guys say something, we think this about you guys. Right. What is the reality?
Right.
So if you guys are watching, we'll be the middleman for you, so you can, if you have wives or girlfriends, just make sure that they're listening to this one, because we're going to speak for you guys today, hopefully.
And it kind of helps the guys communicate their feelings, right?
Absolutely.
Hopefully we have the right words, but help them with the right words to really communicate how they feel. Or
Right.
just say, here's this link I just watched.
Check this out.
Check us out.
Yeah.
Check us out. So, our podcast is for men and the ones that love them.
And the one that love them, exactly.
So let's hop into it.
Let's go. So 5 things we talked about. Well, we have 10, but we're going to go with the 5 things. We need space to recharge. Alone time doesn't mean that we're upset or distancing ourselves. We sometimes need space to process our thoughts and our emotions, which helps us return more present and more focused.
Right.
So this basically is saying, just because we are off to ourselves or we're quiet, we're not angry.
Right.
We just are we're being very conscious of where we are. We're being conscious of what's on our mind, and we're actually using that filter from the brain to the mouth, that filter that comes from out of our mouth, so that we're watching the words that we say. So we would prefer to be off to the side, think about what we're going to say, and articulate it in a positive fashion. That's one aspect of it. Another aspect is life hits us all the time.
Right.
And sometimes we need space to just recharge and just breathe and be in our own space. For me, it's Mondays.
Yeah.
When we play basketball, it's more than just playing basketball. It's it's time for me personally to get away from all the stress that I have, all the things that are swirling on in the top of my head, swirling up here. It gives me a chance to just play basketball and just be free and not worry about anything, because I know when I'm done, it's still gonna be there. Yeah. But now I'm more focused, I'm more recharged. So my battery is charged up now. I don't have to tackle life on an empty battery. Right. So just know, ladies, that when we branch off and when we're quiet, we're not angry. Yeah. We're not angry at you. We are not,
out with somebody else.
Out with somebody else. Thank you. You took the words right out of my mouth. Yeah. Right. Sometimes we just need to be in our own space and just allow us to be. I guarantee you we're going to come back more focused, more into you and more into our families. So, just give us that confidence. Know who you're with, as the ladies. Know who you're with. Yeah. If that's not your man, then don't even think that that's something that he would do. Right. Just allow him to have that space. I guarantee you he'll appreciate you more for that one. So
and I think it's important that we touch on that. Whatever our outlet is, our recharge is, whether it's basketball, watching a movie, video games, like whatever it is, right? It doesn't mean that activity is more important than our significant other, right? What it means is that we go and do that so we can recharge to come back and make you feel important.
Exactly.
Right? Because if our head's right, then we can properly be that responsible mate.
Exactly. Right? Yep.
And I thought it was I forgot my thought. Totally forgot. But yeah, it's just knowing that everything that we do is for the benefit of the relationship, right? And it's just super important that we do that, because and also, if I my thought back, also it's important for us as men to communicate what that recharge does for us, why we need that recharge. Because if we just pick up and leave, they don't know.
Exactly.
Right? They don't know what we're doing, and then that can lead to their minds making up stories, right? So it's about communication, right? Hey, love, I need to go and do this because, I had this week, I had this happen. Right. So on these days, I'm going to go and recharge, and this is what I'm doing, right? So yeah, communicating that is super important. One thing for me is that going back, in my life, when I used to take those recharge breaks, I used to feel guilty about that, right? Like, am I supposed to be doing this? Because, she's at home with the kids and, this and that. It's like, I would feel guilty, right?
Is that based on past experience?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Mm-hmm. And like everything up to this point is based on my past experience, right? Or our past experience. But I would feel guilty, and I would be out with the boys, hanging out, having a good time, having fun, watching the clock. Is it getting too late? Maybe I should leave. Right. But then I get to leave and they say, hey, where you going? Why are you leaving? Oh, I'm tired. I'm sleepy. But the bigger picture was I was feeling guilty about being out that late, and not being home, I guess, helping with the family. Right. But not knowing being out was my ability to recharge and be a better husband, be a better, father. Right.
I get it. Yeah, I get it. And it's crazy because you were in your space, but you weren't in your space.
What do you mean?
So out with the fellas and consistently thinking, should I? Mm-hmm. What am I missing? I should be at the house, right? Helping out. You're not present in your moment of space. Right. You're not present. So it makes you kind of anxious while you're in that moment, because now you're thinking, I'm going to get home. I need to get home as soon as possible, right? To feed that anxiety that's in you. More importantly, now you are creating, watch the snowball effect. Now you're creating lies to yourself. Right. I'm tired. So now you've made up this narrative in your head. I'm tired. So that's what I'll express to them, to my friends. Now when you get home, it's probably not even like that. The wife's like, "Why are you home so early?"
Right.
And now you're like, I could have stayed out. And now who are you mad at?
Right.
Originally, you're mad at yourself because you're like, I got in my own head, you know. So I think that it's important that we honor the space that we need, and be in it, be in that moment, because when we are going through our emotions and where we're going through, you know, feeling our traumas, we live that. You're in that. Yeah. So on the flip side of that, when you are in your free space and when you're in your space to be free mentally, be in that moment. Right. Because when you're out of that moment, you're gonna wish you were there. Yeah. So, enjoy yourself. You're supposed to.
I'm totally able to do it now. And just like looking back on like what I've talked about growth, right? Looking back on what I went through, what I experienced, I'm like, okay. You know, even getting to the point where I would just take pictures and text them over. You know what? I'm here, right? And it wasn't because there was. I'm still not sure why I did that, but it was just maybe just to make sure that she knew where I was. Right. But yeah, it's just learning, but the point is that space to get out there and recharge is super important.
And we shouldn't feel guilty.
Guilty about it at all, because it makes you a better person. It makes you a better father. We work better. Husband, boyfriend. It makes you better. Yeah. Right. And it gives you the opportunity to go out there and explore and get feedback from your peers. Right. I believe that every couple needs a friendship group or a life outside of their relationship.
You had it before you got married. So why wouldn't you have it after?
Right. That keeps you who you are.
Exactly.
Cool.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Exactly. So that was number one. That was just number one.
All right, number two. Number two is I think it's a good one that women should know, is that we crave appreciation.
Right? Absolutely.
The note is men value being appreciated for their efforts, whether in relationships, work, or at home. Acknowledging their contributions boosts their self-confidence and connection. Right. And I think that's a big misconception, thinking that we don't crave appreciation. Right. Everybody has their love language. Right. And mine is definitely words of affirmation. Right. You're doing a good job. Keep going. I'm proud of you. Either way, the words can build or the words can kill. Right. It can give life or take life. Right. But us men, we crave and we want the appreciation of our girl.
Absolutely.
Right? We want them to say, you know what, you're doing a great job, and mean it. Right. Not just blow smoke in our ass. Right. Exactly. You're doing a great job. I see you. I feel you. I notice you. That's something that I know is big for me. And I guess it's big for most men because it's on a list.
It's on a list. Exactly.
But just having that appreciation, just having that, thank you, you're doing a great job. It's not every single day, right? But just, we crave appreciation. We crave your words. We crave your energy. We crave that vibration, because that will make us go out there and produce 1,000 times more than we did the day before. Just the fact that we know that you're a part of us and talking about us and you appreciate us, it's a game changer for us.
Man, to know your girl has your back, to know your significant other is proud of you and they say it, man, you go out there like
smashing everything,
take on the world,
right?
Everything. Because you realize now that I have the support that is being given to me, whether it is affirmations, physical affirmations, verbal affirmations. I know that I know that I'm doing the right thing. I know I have the support of my family. I know I have the support of my wife, my significant other. So it's gonna make you go out and stand 10 toes down even harder, because we own. It's not just me out here in the wind. I think I'm doing the right thing. Like, man, we question ourselves all the time. So we're wondering if we're doing the right thing, if we're doing enough. So what greater affirmation to quell that noise than to hear your significant other say, hey, I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
You were kicking ass, you know. So
you hear that on Monday, and then you know you 5'10". On Tuesday, you 6 foot, right? You like
exactly
a little bit taller.
Exactly.
Right?
So you know, it's just like, for me, like we said, Mondays is basketball, right? That's what I like to do. So Monday nights when I come home, the conversations are like, how did your games go? Was you cooking? Like, I'm like, was I cooking? Whoa.
So block my shot.
Yeah, you know, I had to come in for him. He was
right.
I had to sub in for him. But yeah, it's like, you know, those things, like, you know, just like wanting to know about stuff like that is like, oh, you know, it's cool. But people in general crave affirmation.
Right.
You know.
Right.
But men, we need it because we get darts thrown at us all the time.
Right.
And some of the biggest darts that are thrown at us, we're throwing them at ourselves. You know, we're throwing them.
Right.
So our opposite, our better half, quote unquote, they're supposed to pull those darts out. Hey, you know, it's not as bad as you think.
Pull them out, wipe the wound.
That's it. Wipe the wound. So, ladies, you guys are very important. The power that you guys have in your words are extremely important to us. They can either make us or completely break us. I always say that men are fragile in a sense of their ego. Our egos are really fragile. And the women in our life have the power to either build our ego or completely tear our ego down. So what they say to us is completely and very crucial to our success and our demise. You know, one way or the other. So, which is a perfect segue into what, 3? We're just on 3.
Let me tap back in them 2 real quick. So I got 2 things on that, maybe 3.
Well,
one, I mean, it's biblical. It says life and death is in the power of the tongue.
Absolutely.
Right? So that tongue is powerful. So I'll just say this, ladies, right? Is that first for the men, one is that be careful who you marry. Be careful who you make your partner, right? Because that can dictate how your life is going to transpire.
Make sure you check the Carfax.
Check the Carfax.
Check the Carfax.
It's going to build you or tear you down, right? So, ladies, if on Monday you give your man appreciation, you give him praise, you thank him, you show him that you are totally grateful for his presence and what he does, and then on Tuesday you tear him down, it doesn't work that way, right? You have to choose who you want to be. You want to be a builder or you want to be a destroyer, right? So a lot of times women think that, you know what, I can tell him that he's doing a great job. I can tell him this. You can, but on the next day when he does something that you don't approve of, you kind of like tear him down. It's like you're taking all that back because he gets enough of that out there in the world every single day.
Right.
And I'm not saying don't communicate. I'm saying it's how you communicate, right? Be at a point where you can express yourself with emotional intelligence, maturity, and love, right? Because your man will do things that piss you off. This is going to happen, right?
It's life.
But how are you communicating what you don't like to him? Are you communicating with love or just straight evil, right? So pick a side, because if you don't, we'll pick a side for you.
And I don't know, I'm gonna ask you, because I think, I don't know if it's just me, but when I do something that maybe doesn't vibe right with my wife, and she expresses her concerns, or she expresses, you know, we could have done it a better way, we could have done it this way. I'm like, you're right. And moving forward, that's the last time she's ever had to say anything like about that particular thing. Because like me personally, it's something like I don't necessarily want to hear. I don't like making the same mistakes twice. And so if she says something that makes sense at that particular time, and you know, it was right at the moment. Exactly. So, but that's the last time that we'll ever have to have that discussion. Does that do you find yourself doing that to you? If it's something negative, or not even negative, if it's something constructive and it's brought to your attention once, is that the only time?
I think the key word there is constructive.
Yeah.
Because when it's constructive, we tend to listen because we're natural fixers, right?
Right.
But we're also can be kind of standoffish a little bit, right? So you said constructive. So there's a difference. Language for me is everything, right? So when your wife says, you know what, could we have done it this way?
Right.
Right. If she had said, B, you should have done it this way. I told you to do it this way.
Oh yeah.
How much difference would that be?
That's a huge difference.
It's a huge difference.
It's a huge difference.
Would you be more apt to make adjustments in your choices based on that language?
Oh, absolutely. I would be more defensive and less likely to do it that way because of how it was brought to me.
Right.
I'm really big on how you speak. Like I pride myself on speaking to people respectfully, no matter who they are. And because I pride myself on that, I demand that as well.
Right.
So how you speak to me is very crucial.
Right.
It's very important. So yeah, it is about how you, it's language, and it's just, you can talk about anything. Like the thing is, we can talk about anything.
Right.
It's just about how we talk. How are we talking about it? Are we talking about it to fix the situation, or are we talking about it just to
attack?
Right. If that's the case, then I tune out. Like I'm just not. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
And but that also goes to making sure you check that Carfax.
Yeah.
Because who was in your life is your responsibility. Right. Who you have around you is your responsibility. Yeah. Who do you allow to speak into your life? That's your responsibility. Right. So make sure that the people that are speaking into your life, the people that you have around you, and your spouse, make sure your spouse is talking productive and constructive to you, and you're not just with her for her physical attributes or money or stuff like that. Make sure that that respect door is open and it goes both ways.
Yeah, because beauty fades, right?
Beauty fades,
but the beauty of the heart does not fade, right?
Not at all. Nope.
It builds and it gets better, and it's not what you say; it's how you say it.
It's all about how you say it,
right? So, but
you can definitely talk about anything, but you just have to make sure it's being said the right way,
right? And
so that it can be received the way you want it to be received.
Right.
So, yeah.
All right, like that one.
All right, that was
number 3.
Number 3.
It's on me or you?
Yeah, that's on me. I think. Yeah, it's on me.
Let's do it.
Communication isn't always easy. Men may find it challenging to articulate feelings or struggles, especially if they fear being misunderstood. Patience and creating a safe space can encourage more open conversations.
Yeah.
So it seems like all of this stuff is tethered together. Communication is key. We just spoke on how you speaking to your significant other, but the insight from us is we're communicating with ourselves. We're questioning ourselves. We're doubting ourselves. Self-doubt lives up there. Could we do better? Could we do more? So those are the things that are swirling in our heads that sometimes does not allow us to articulate that safely or correctly to our spouses for a multitude of reasons. Maybe we feel like what we're feeling is too much for our spouse.
Right.
We don't want to put that burden on top of them, knowing that maybe they have work issues, they have, their family, it could be family members on their side of the family. They're dealing with some issues. So you don't want to necessarily pile on. So you don't necessarily communicate or articulate your feelings or desires at that particular moment. That's the first one. The second one is you just don't know how. Yeah. You just don't know how. So you hold it in.
Right.
Based on past experiences, based on what your father did, based on what you've seen in your house, based on what my grandfather did. My grandfather never went to my grandmother. My father never went to my mother. So why am I going to go to you? I've never seen that. So past experiences can cause communications breakdowns. And then thirdly is the toxic masculinity.
Right.
Oh, I'm not supposed to.
Right.
I'm not supposed to talk about my feelings. If I'm feeling anxious, I'm not supposed to say that because men don't get anxious.
Yeah.
Men don't get anxiety. They're just supposed to go out and provide, and that's it,
right.
and deal with the world. So these are reasons that we find it challenging. For the ladies out there, a simple question to ask your man, and you have to be open for the answer. How are you doing? How are you doing? But leave it open for him to say, today's not that.
People still lie though.
Yeah, that's the thing. But I think as long as we will lie and say we're okay. But the flip side to that is, if that question is asked continuously, how are you doing? And it's genuinely asked, I think it is incumbent upon us to answer that question correctly. Now, it might not be, you might not want to flood the gates with, oh, I'm feeling, I'm sprinkle it in there, a little bit at a time. Test the waters and see how it is. That's the advice I'd give to the guys. Yeah. If your lady asks you how are you doing and it's genuinely asked, tiptoe in the water. Don't dive right in if you can't dive right in. If you're not comfortable diving right in, understandable. But get to a point, take the necessary steps so that you can. It's like swimming.
Yeah.
You don't just jump right in. I mean, you can, but how successful is that going to be? You're going to go through a lot of emotions doing that.
Yeah.
But if someone is taking you and guiding you into the 3-foot part of the pool and just telling you, just put your foot in there, you get more acclimated. And then as you become you get better at that, then you move on to something else. Now you're an expert swimmer. Yeah. So compared to how are you doing, today was a little rough. Yeah. I had, something. You could say anything. Traffic was crazy, or I had my supervisor piss me off, or I had employees that pissed me off today, and it was XYZ, and see how that goes. Yeah. But ladies, here is the ultimate top secret. If nobody told you, if you're not listening, I don't care what you're doing right now, you need to stop and listen to this one right now. If you ask your significant other, how are they doing? And they tell you fine, and you attack them, you'll never,
done deal.
You will never hear anything ever again from them, no matter how much you want to open up, no matter how much you want to, they will never be honest with you ever again. Because we were vulnerable. We were opened up ourselves. We opened up how we felt, and you shot us down.
Yeah. You weaponize our vulnerability.
We will shut off from you forever and still be in the relationship.
Yeah.
And shut off completely. So,
and then you're asking why. Well, now you know why.
Now you know why. So ladies, be careful with your words when you are, when your man is being vulnerable with you, because he's being completely open and he's being completely transparent. Yeah. And don't weaponize it, because that'll be the last you ever hear from him ever again in that way. He'll never be transparent with you ever again.
Yeah. And even in the beginning, when you first asked that man how he's doing, and he will most likely lie, right? But we will lie until we feel safe.
Exactly.
Right? And safe in two ways. First, safe within ourselves, that I feel that I can trust myself to be able to go express myself and then really tell how I really feel. Yep. Right. And secondly, be able to trust our better half with, okay, if I tell her this, she's going to keep this to her, it will never be used against me, and then she will help me grow and get better from this, right? And not use it as a weapon. Yep. Because it's totally okay, and I think we talked about some other podcasts, right? It's okay. Anger is okay. Anger is a human emotion. Right? Yep. Anger is part of us being human, right? But it's how you act out or live out the anger is the issue.
Exactly.
Right? So you can be angry at your man can be angry at you, but if you're angry at him and then you use what he said against him, like you said, it's done, right?
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
But then also communicating, because talking about how we feel, well, at least for me, if I was having a bad day, a bad moment, a bad week, a bad year, a bad whatever, me talking about it and communicating that, it wasn't easy, because for me, like, well, if I say I failed here, they'll see me as a failure, or she'll see me as a failure. She'll see me as not the man that I'm supposed to be.
Because you're already seeing yourself that way.
Exactly.
So you don't need anybody
projection.
else. Yeah.
Right.
You don't need anybody else to compound that. So, we're already feeling the word failure. If we feel that we failed at something, man, nobody needs to add on to that at all, because the amount of pressure that we put on ourselves and we fail is undescribable. I can't even describe how that feels. But to have somebody add on to it, it's one of the reasons. Honestly, it's one of the reasons why men's suicide rate is 4 times higher than than women.
Yeah, and we have to learn how to communicate our feelings, right? And I think one thing that the ladies can help with is, like, when a man says, you know what, I'm good. What does that mean you're good?
Right.
I just keep asking questions. In the beginning, he may get frustrated because it's new to him that you're asking questions.
Right.
But keep asking questions to really get to the bottom of because again, communicating for us is not easy, because we will dance around all the hurt stuff, all the failures, all the vulnerability, and just give you that canned answer. Well, I'll tell you this: no man is perfect.
Not at all.
No man does not have pain, does not hurt. No man does not feel sad. No man does not feel like a failure. So all that's in there. Even though he's telling you that, you know what, I'm good, I'm cool, let's rock, let's roll, there's something there. May not be that day, but there's something there. So I will continue to ask questions and really read his energy, because we can hide behind smiles, bro.
Yep.
We can.
Yep.
Read the energy. If you're with someone if you're someone's twin flame, in a sense, right? It's like, God made you for this person, and you guys are together and you're vibing. You will know when something's off. Even if they're not there, you'll know by their text messages. You know what? Something's off. What's up? So ask questions and really just push him to begin to express how he feels, and then be that container. Hold that space for him. Right?
Yeah.
You gotta hold space, right? Yep. And that helps with the communication.
I think the longer you are with someone, so I wonder this: women know, especially if they've been with you for a long time, they know when something's wrong.
Right.
But here's the question I wanna know. I actually want to ask the ladies this: that something's wrong with us, but are you fearful to ask? Because you don't want to hear the answer. Maybe, I know something's wrong, but if I ask, he's going to get angry. I know something's wrong, but if I ask something, but if I ask, I might not, I don't know if I can take it.
But doesn't it also go back to them checking the Carfax on their person too? Because if you feel that.
Carfax go both ways.
Yeah, it goes both ways.
Carfax goes both ways, but I just honestly wonder if they feel sometimes that I want to know, but I'm scared to know the answer. Yeah. So I just wonder that I would tell the ladies, you guys should be the constant in our lives. Yeah. Especially if you're with us and you're invested and you want us around for as long as you can have us. You should be our constant. Like you said, we have emotions, and it's crazy. All this stuff is really tethered, so I don't even want to go into emotions part, because
we got more.
Yeah, we got them. So
number 4, right?
Number 4.
Another good one.
I think they're all good,
right? But so some of these are things that pop out of my mind, like, oh, you know what? I've experienced that, right? So physical intimacy is more than just sex. I know it's hard for you guys to believe, but physical intimacy is more than just sex.
It is.
While physical connection is important, it's often about feeling close, loved, and secure. Emotional intimacy plays a key role in a man's desire for physical closeness. So
interesting. Yeah.
So I've personally been accused of, oh, you just want me for sex, right? I'm like, damn, that's not true, because we can get sex anywhere, right? I say this, right? And it may sound harsh, but it's true as heck. A man can pay someone to wash their clothes. A man can pay for someone to cook for them. Pay for someone to clean for them. A man can pay someone to have sex with them, right? But a man cannot pay someone to love them unconditionally and love them and be there and support them.
No.
Money can't buy that, right? So it's not just about sex. I mean, and especially if you're in a situation where there's constant turmoil and conflict and all that, we're not there just for the sex. We desire to be close to you. We desire to hug you and protect you and be one with you. That's our natural state, right? So even though we may say, hey, you know what, let's have a quickie real quick, right?
Right.
You know, yes, it's a quickie and we just, pop it in and pop it out, but that's because we want to be close to you. It's not just about always being horny.
Right.
It's a part of it.
Right.
But there's a lot more to us than just having sex. We crave to be close to you. We crave to be one with you. And sometimes, depending on your relationships, that's the only time we feel close to you and loved by you, is when we're having sex with you, right? That's my spiel.
And that I think is, if the only time that we're feeling loved and we're feeling close is when we are physical, then that's a problem.
It is.
That's a problem. Because, like you said, beauty fades. Other stuff fades. What do you have outside of that?
Yeah.
Intimacy is not sex.
Yeah.
Intimacy is a closeness, a oneness, being able to just be around each other in a intimate setting.
Right.
Hell, spooning.
Right.
That's intimacy. A hug when you walk through the door.
Yep.
That's intimacy. Eye contact. Intimacy.
If you break down intimacy, it's like, into me I see. Right? It's like you're looking into somebody, and sex is just a part.
It's just a part. Sex is the cherry on top.
Right.
It is the final level. Right. Basically, for all my Last Dragon lovers out there. Word to the Chucks. But it is the ultimate level you want to get to. But you also want to have that time building up to it. So you want the hugs, you want the kisses, you want the hands over you, and you want to feel that closeness. So what the Bible says, like, he who finds a wife finds a great thing. Right. Wife is supposed to give up of her body. Husbands, love your wives, take care of your wives. Right. So if a wife is trusting you with her body, you as a husband are entrusted to take care and love her. Right. She has to be able to trust you to know that you're not going to do anything to defile her within the realm of the marriage, and you have to do everything that you can to, her body is yours, so don't fuck it up. Yeah. In a sense.
That was more in a sense.
But yes, we are, you should be, intimacy is more than what they think. They think, oh, well, you just put it in. It's more than just put it in. Like for us now, when we were younger, possibly. Yeah. But I think that comes from a lack of a better word, time. So to put it in perspective, a girl gets propositioned for sex more often than men.
Of course. When
they're younger, when they're in high school, they get propositioned more. So they have more opportunity to realize it becomes desensitizing to them. Yeah. It becomes, well, if I'm approached with it all the time, that means I can get it anytime I want. Yeah. Guys, on the flip side, I don't know about you, but I don't get propositioned for sex as I was younger. Just like, hey, you want to have sex? Hey, you want to have sex? Hey, you want to have sex? Hey, let's have sex. Hey, you want to have sex? That doesn't happen.
Right.
So that when it does happen, when we were younger, we jump right on it because I don't know when this is ever going to happen again. Let me just jump right in it, you know? And so that becomes, as we get older, the woman sees it and she sees like, okay, well, here it is, just take it. No, it doesn't. We don't want to just take it.
Yeah.
We want to know that we are.
Some guys do though.
Some guys do. Some guys just want to just take it.
Yeah,
they locked up.
Yeah. Well, they should be.
They should be.
Well, they should be.
But yeah, it's more than just, you know, put it in.
Yeah.
It's more than that. It should be more than that. You want more than that. So
and I want to get some context to that because everything we're talking about is really for a really mature and safe relationship, right?
Exactly.
Not all that crazy BS.
Right.
This is for the mature folks who actually know how to communicate or learning how to
learning, yes,
or want to be better.
Yep.
Right. But but there are some crazy situations that that don't fit into to what we're doing. But the overall premise of that, guys, is that us men, believe it or not, we want more than just sex.
Yeah.
Physical intimacy is more to us than just sex. And I don't know how else to put that, but just know that your man wants more than sex.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
All right.
Be present.
This last one.
Oh, and number five. Emotions run deep. I tell you, this stuff is all tethered together, man. Men may not always express their emotions outwardly, but they feel things just as intensely as a woman. They often struggle with showing vulnerability due to social expectations. So due to societal expectations of what a man should say, I'm not supposed to share my emotions because I'm a man. Now, we've said this in the past. We've known that I haven't always been the most enlightened man. So I used to always tell guys like, oh, I'm so emotional like a female. I want to show my emotions and that just wasn't the right way to take that. We all have emotions. We all have the ability to be angry. We all have the ability to be sad. We all have the ability to be happy. We all have the ability to find joy and peace. But we have to be able to share that. And sometimes society tells us that we shouldn't share it. Society may tell us that we're not supposed to be happy because women are, that's an emotion for women. And I don't necessarily agree with that. I believe that happiness is rewarded to both a man and a woman deserve to be happy. Yeah. A man and a woman deserves to find happiness. Is it fleeting? Possibly. Is it long lasting? Possibly. But while you're in that moment, you deserve to be happy, whether you're a man or female. While you're in that moment, you deserve to have peace. You deserve to have joy. Just like everyone, like a woman has her peaceful time, her joyful time, we're allowed to have that. Yeah. And when we pigeonhole ourselves and tell us what we can't do and what we shouldn't do, we stifle our growth. We put a cap on our growth, and we shut off the perspective of learning more, of learning wider, opening that prism of just saying, okay, the world is bigger than where we're at right now. Yeah. If you think the world is just where we're at or where you are, that's a problem. Like the world is so much bigger than us. Men are so evolved. Men are going through issues, whether they are positive or negative, good or bad. Mm-hmm. We go through stuff. Mm-hmm. And society tells us that no matter how bad it is, shut up and take it.
Shut the F up, right? And
that's not conducive. That's why we die 4 times faster. Right. It's why our life expectancy is not as high as women. Yeah. There's a reason behind these numbers. Yeah. There's a reason behind all the way we feel. There's a reason why, if you think about it, when we were growing up, how many men in your life smoked cigarettes?
I didn't have many in my life, so I can answer.
I had a lot of men I knew around. They smoked cigarettes like it wasn't nothing. It was just cigarette, a pack a day.
Yeah. Wow.
Why? It's because they didn't feel like they could share stuff. So you know what? Let me hit this cigarette. Let me get this. This is my coping mechanism. This cigarette.
Yeah.
If men back then had the opportunity to have this information at their hands when they were younger, I believe they would all still be here right now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So while we're learning this and we're evolving, we are changing our life expectancy.
100%. Yeah.
But we have to make sure that, yes, we have emotions, and we have to somehow get comfortable with sharing those emotions with the people that care about us, because ultimately they want us here as long as possible, and they want us here. And if that means sharing how we feel and being open and honest, they're for it. I think they're for it. We just have to, there's a middle ground. We have to be comfortable with opening up. They have to be comfortable with asking and not settling for, I'm good, I'm cool.
Yeah.
Keep digging.
Yeah. It's a responsibility on both parts, because one, we are super emotional.
Yep.
And we don't show it. You ever seen those videos or heard stories about, oh, he just snapped, right?
Yep.
And that's why, because all this emotion we've held in for years upon years, and it's like a balloon, right? Eventually you keep pumping that air into it, eventually it's going to pop.
It's going to pop.
Right? So having the emotions and being able to share and just know that your man is super emotional, know that he has feelings, know that he can always express himself, but we have the emotions that they're there. Now it's our job as men to learn how to express those, to know that they're real and it's okay, and know that everybody will not be able to handle your emotions, because they're trained that it's like we're trained,
right?
So are they.
They're conditioned. Yep.
We're trained that, you know what, we can't talk about it, and they're trained like, man, put top of that shit, right?
Right. Man up.
But the men have to realize that if someone in your life, if they're not able to hear you and respect you and honor how you feel, then maybe that person should not be in your life.
Absolutely. Right? Ultimately, you are responsible for the people that you allow to be around you. So, you have to ask yourself some tough questions like, am I comfortable with expressing myself with the person I'm with? Yeah. And if you don't even know that answer, have you even tried? Right. So I wouldn't even answer that question until I've at least tried. Right. So, and then the ladies, are you comfortable with your man saying, I'm not okay? Yeah. You know? So I think that's what it is. I think those are the questions that we have to ask ourselves when we're in these relationships. So that we can be better off, because can you imagine being in a space where you don't even get to that level of so much air being pumped into you where you're about to pop? Yeah. Imagine how not easy, but just imagine how even keel you'd be in life if you knew at the first uptick, you already know when you get home, wife is gonna ask you something just based on how you came in the door. Right. And you're comfortable with saying, nah, I had a cold day today. Well, this motherfucker pissed me off, and I wanted to strangle this motherfucker. And then you just like, the wife is like, oh, well, I know what you do to relax. So do you need a minute? Do you need to, here's a beer and Madden. Go do you, boo boo. Or go work out. Go do what you need to do. Take care of yourself. You need anything from me? Right. All right, I got you. Just imagine what that would look like if you were to take that kind of journey in life, and that the slightest little thing, it doesn't have to be the end all be all. Yeah. So it's an unprecedented amount of peace that you feel, and it makes you able to tackle the hard shit when it comes. Yeah. So those are just 5.
Yeah, that's just 5.
That's just 5.
Yeah, that's an excellent way to wrap up. So physical intimacy. We got, what's the other ones we got? We got appreciation. What else?
We are emotional. We necessarily don't know how to really communicate the best way, and we do need space. We need space to recharge. So That's it in a nutshell, and those are just 5. So just stay tuned for the next 5. I'm telling you, it's crazy.
That's part 2, guys. Thank you for watching the podcast.
Appreciate you.
We're here. So anybody that you know that can benefit from this information, please like, please share, please subscribe, please comment, because we want to get feedback from you guys. Thank you guys for watching The Truth About Him, the #1 podcast.
Absolutely,
health
#1
and wellness. See you soon. Bye.